Well, good evening once again. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Diana Rachel Mbugua. Our sign language interpreter for tonight is Joyce Wairimo. Now, we start the bulletin with some sad news where Fatuma Tobwara, the newly appointed vice chairperson of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, has died. Tobwara allegedly collapsed while attending a wedding at Kombani, Kwale County, and was pronounced dead on arrival at Diani Beach Hospital. Our reporter Amelia Kisenya kickstarts our bulletin tonight.
Before her death late this afternoon, the NCIC Vice Chair Fatuma Tobwara was part of a wedding in South Coast, Kwale County, and was awaiting to receive the bride and show her where the groom, who is her nephew, was. However, that moment would only be short-lived minutes later after collapsing. Leaders and close family members have now come out and described the moments spent by them during her last minutes at the wedding. She was full of life and never showed any signs of falling sick.
Sababu jana alikuwa mchangamfu na hata kufikia leo asubuhi niweza kuhudhuria harusi, na ni katika harusi ndio akakolapse. Kwa hivyo tumepokea hizi habari kwa mshangao na kwa mshtuko, na nataka tu kuchukua nafasi hii kuweza kutuma rambirambi zetu kama wananchi wa Kwale, wa familia, marafiki na tume nzima ya NCIC kwa kumpoteza naibu mwenyekiti ambaye kwa kweli tunamfahamu kama mtu mwenye bidii sana. Kwa hivyo tuko tu na majonzi katika kaunti nzima.
Hakuonyesha kwamba alikuwa na maumivu wala uchovu wala huzuni yoyote. Tuliweza kupangana. Baada ya hapo tulikuwa na shughuli kama tatu, moja yapo ikiwa ni ya vikundi vya akina mama kama kawaida yake, yeye ukipenda ukaa karibu na akina mama. Moja yake ikiwa kulikuwa na harambe jana ya vijana wa bodaboda hapa Kombani. Tuliweza kuyapanga hayo yote, na hatimaye kwamba leo pia kutakuwa na maharusi, na yeye huwa ni mtu ambaye wakati wowote anajumuika na watu, lakini ni kazi ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Sisi hatuwezi kuwa na lawama ama pingamizi, inabidi tukubali hali vile ambavyo imetokea.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, through a statement, has sent a message of condolence to the family, relatives and friends of the NCIC Vice Chairperson Fatuma Tobwara, describing her as a great national leader, role model and outstanding champion of the rights of women and girls, especially in Kwale County. She had only been appointed to the position on November 20th this year and sworn in by Chief Justice David Maraga. Before President Uhuru Kenyatta appointed her as the National Vice Chairperson for NCIC, Tobwara served as a political advisor to Kwale Governor Salim Mvurya. Tobwara also unsuccessfully vied for the Kwale Women Rep seat under the PDR party. She also will be remembered for participating in the formation of sexual harassment policy in Kwale County government, among other various leadership roles. Amelia Kisenya for Ebru TV.
Well, our condolences as well to the family of Fatuma. Now, moving on, Suna East MP was earlier rushed to St. Joseph Mission Hospital, where he was treated and discharged. Suna East MP JUNET Mohammed over suspected food poisoning. Now, according to his personal assistant Ocheng Ogejo, the legislator had just arrived in Migori town when he started complaining of stomach pain. JUNET complained of stomach pains after spending the whole day distributing bursaries and touring development projects in several wards in his constituency and had just landed in Migori County. He has since then, through his social media post, confirmed of recovering well after the treatment and is out of danger. Now, doctors in Kisumu County have called off their strike to give room for negotiations with the county government. Nyanza Union Branch Chairman Kevin Usuri Saturday said they would resume duty today, bringing to an end the 3-week strike that caused untold suffering among patients. According to Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Board, 111 doctors have been promoted to various job groups. Take a look. Solidarity.
In a statement, KMPDU Nyanza Secretary Lameko Mweri said 26 doctors will be interviewed between January 20th and 24th, 2020. Another 31 doctors are on probation and will be confirmed by the County Public Service Board within the first quarter of 2020. Omweri added, and I quote, "No doctor will be victimized as a result of the strike and full salaries of the same period will be paid on time," end of quote. The doctors have been asked to pick their letters of promotion and return to work within 48 hours. Having endured a painful Christmas following the collapse of the public health system in the county, residents hope the doctors' grievances will be addressed before the new year. KMPDU Nyanza Union Branch Chairman Kevin Osuri has stated, and I quote, "The county government should implement the agreement it signed with the doctors' union to get the doctors back to work immediately," end of quote. On Monday, representatives of the doctors' union stormed out of a 5-hour meeting accusing the county administration of not engaging in good faith. The county government, which had threatened to sack all striking doctors following a dispute on promotions, has blamed the doctors' union for playing politics, accusing them of putting their interest ahead of suffering residents. The county's health executive Judith Atiang said, and I quote, "We have addressed the issue of promotion, which was the cause of the doctors' strike, so there's no need for them to continue absconding duty," end of quote. Following the strike, patients have been forced to seek services in private health facilities or travel long distances to neighboring counties of Kakamega, Kericho, Nandi, and Siaya. In what could further cripple the public health sector, nurses and clinical officers have threatened to go on strike if they do not get promotions by December 31st. Winnie Lubembe for Ebru TV.
Now, moving on, as students prepare to return to school in a week's time, Methodius Owino from Budalangi, who scored 402 marks in his examination, is unsure of what will happen despite excelling in his papers. Methodius is supposed to join Maranda High School in Nyanza, but his dream could remain just that if he does not find a well-wisher or another kind of sponsorship.
This is the place where Methodius Owino calls home. A close look will land your eyes into this tiny house with so much holds a clear indication this is a humble background. However, this did not hold him back from his good performance, where Owino scored a total of 402 marks. Owino was supposed to join Maranda High School. His parents are not able to take him to national schools, as schools are expected to be opened in a week's time. Kevin Ondori, father to Owino, says that despite his efforts to seek help from banks and other organizations, his efforts bore no fruit.
Nimejaribu kwenda KCPE, nika-apply Equity, nika-apply elimu, lakini mafanikio sijapata.
He calls upon well-wishers to support him financially so that he can take his son to school.
Kwa ameitwa Maranda High School na hiyo pesa sijiwezi, niko na wasiwasi, sina school fees ya kulipia mtoto. Sasa nataka usaidizi.
On his side, Methodius Owino complains that although he had submitted his papers, those responsible is shocking that the papers have disappeared.
Tulikuwa tumejaza tu kila kitu tukawapelekea, wakatuambia siku ya interview tutaenda tarehe 23. Tulikuwa tunaenda huko wakisoma forms tukapata yetu haiko. Sasa hatujui ilienda wapi na hatujui nani alitoa, hatujui ilienda wapi, lakini fomu haikuwa, tukarudi tu nyumbani.
He notes that he's been making endless efforts to at least secure himself a bursary, but this seems to be a nightmare.
Apply scholarships karibu 3 hivi, tuka-apply KCB, tukaenda huko, lakini hatujapata matokeo. Tuka-apply Equity, tuna-apply Wings to Fly, tuka-apply hata elimu, yote hatujapata matokeo.
He thus calls upon well-wishers to support him so that he can join Form 1 in the next 1 week.
Natoa wito kwa watu wa Mungu, watu wa kiserikali wasikie wito wangu, waweze kunisaidia niweze kusoma.
The question is, has corruption made its way to a point of affecting the less fortunate in the society? Njeri Njogu for Ebru TV.
Now, as most Kenyans across the country celebrate this festive season, inmates at Waita GK prison were treated to a rare meal by local philanthropists. Through Briar Foundation for People Living with Disabilities, the 240 men and 20 women prisoners got a chance to celebrate the festive season. According to the foundation founder, Brian Musyoka, his foundation aims at remembering the most sidelined persons in the community.
While giving them words of encouragement, Brian pleaded with them to always forgive one another, accept their fate, not to be vengeful, and that way they will have a peaceful life. According to him, the inmates are part of the society, only that they are facing disciplinary process, and the community should accept them back once released.
Basana ukitoka hapo kuja tutakutana kwa sababu wengi hapa ni mafundi najua tu. Si ni kweli? Ukuje tufanye kazi ya mabarabara, ujenzi. Kwa sababu hapa utaletwa hapa kwa sababu wewe ni mtu mbaya. Umeletwa hapa ukuje ufanye some of the corrections. Kitu mzuri ni kuwa na amani. Kitu ya pili na ndio ya muhimu sana ni kujikubali kwamba niko hapa na sitaishi hapa.
Musyoka Ngitu, a member of the foundation, encouraging the inmates, told them to go utilize the skills attained in prison once released in a bid to better their lives.
Ukiwa hapa si kwa makosa. Sawa. Nikuja tu kujirekebisha. Fanya tu. Urekebishe kidogo, urudi huko, uendelee maisha. Ati kurekebisha. Unarekebisha na unajirekebisha na lao unapanda juu ujuzi. Sio? Usiwahi kutoka hapa bila ujuzi. Kama sio? Jamani. Ukitoka hapa, toka na kitu. Si kitu kile kikuleta hapa, kitu kizidi ambao kitaweza kusaidia maisha yako.
Benjamin Limasia, officer in charge Waita GK Prison, lauded the exercise, stating it's a show of concern, remembering those in custody, giving them hope, encouraging them, and celebrating together.
Upendo wa Yesu Kristo vile ametuambia tupendane, na hii ni ishara ya upendo. Mtu kusema hawaje mahali pazuri pale nje, si mnaelewa vile nje inakaa, na tukumbuke sisi aje na tusherehekee Christmas pamoja nasi. Hii ni upendo kubwa. So kwa njia ya kipekee tena ningetaka kusema kwamba God bless you so much brother Brian from Brian Foundation.
Reporting for Ebru TV, I'm Kaindo Stefano.
All right, now a rhino thought to be the oldest in the world has died in Tanzania, aged 57. Fausta, an eastern black rhino, was first sighted in the Ngorongoro crater in 1965 when she was 3. She roamed the crater freely for more than 54 years, but health issues in her old age required her to spend her final few years receiving specialized care in a sanctuary. Foster never had calves, something conservationists in Ngorongoro suggest may have contributed to her long life. By 2016, Foster's eyesight was deteriorating and she was suffering from the lingering effects of hyena attacks. Dr. Freddy Manongi from the Ngorongoro Conservation Authority said vicious animals, especially hyenas, started attacking her and she received very serious sores. He added that on the day Foster died, another rhino was born. Mr. Manongi later said in a statement that records show that Foster lived longest of any rhino in the world and that she had died of natural causes on the evening of 27th December. In the wild, rhinos typically live to between 37 and 43 years or up to 50 years in captivity. The eastern black rhino is listed as critically endangered because the animals are often poached for their horn. Now to some business. Vibrant players in the retail sector could face tough times ahead of the Vision 2030 medium-term plan to make retail in Kenya one of the largest contributor of gross domestic product. Uchumi supermarkets could be one of the affected just months after Nakumatt exited the market.
Kenya's retail sector seems to be ailing. The once vibrant players in the sector are falling out of business one by one. According to the Vision 2030 Medium-Term Plan 2013-2017, the retail sector is among the 6 priority sectors projected to improve the formal sector. According to a research conducted by Procter & Gamble in 2016, the retail sector expanded by 13%, hitting an all-time high in terms of spending by 1.8 trillion shillings. Recent trends characterizing Kenya's retail sector reveal mixed fortunes. Whereas the sector has reported growth, there are some unfortunate events which signal that the sector is not stable yet. In December 2019, Nakumatt shut down its prestige mall outlet, with rival Naivas taking over the once vibrant supermarket. 2 other branches in Lavington and Kisumu also faced closure. Uchumi Supermarket could be next. The troubled retailer now wants the government to support a plan dubbed the Company Voluntary Arrangement. A company voluntary arrangement is a statutory agreement between an insolvent limited company and its creditors, which, if signed, could allow a company to come to a formal agreement with company creditors over debt repayment terms. It could also allow you to pay a proportion of the debts rather than full amount. The retailer now wants the ministry to give it a moratorium, or in simple terms, a legal authorization to borrowers to postpone payment and help it waive accrued interest and stop further charging of interest of its 1.2 billion shilling loan. According to a survey in different supermarkets, most consumers have shifted from their one-time favorite grocery stores, reason being the shelves are empty. Globally, the retail sector continues to evolve. In the US, for example, the retail space is still growing. This is despite many retailers going through shaky moments and hundreds having filed for bankruptcy. One-time leading retailers such as Kmart and Sears are only but memories in California. The decline of some of the traditional stores in the US has partly been attributed to their slow adoption to changing consumer needs. In Kenya, online shopping is yet to shake up traditional retail stores. Wanjiro Maina, Ebru TV.
Now, in our international front, Cambodian cuisine, often overshadowed by its similar Thai and Vietnamese counterparts, is relatively unknown to the world, but a Cambodian chef is working to change that. VOA's Chetra Chap reports.
គឺយើងត្រូវការពេលវេលា2ឆ្នាំដែលក្រុមការងាររបស់កូនខំប្រឹងមែនទែនថ្ងៃនេះកូនចង់ជូនម៉ាក់ជាការតបស្នងគុណក៏ដូចជារួមចំណែកដល់សារវប្បធម៌យើងដែរ
In a successful Kickstarter campaign to fund her cookbook, Cambodian famed chef Rotanak, commonly known as Chef Nat, says her country's culinary art is at risk of disappearing.
When I tried to find out how was Cambodian cuisine like 50 or 100 years ago, I searched in libraries, talked to historians, archaeologists. I couldn't find anything in particular.
The 34-year-old self-taught chef helped her family sell vegetables and learned to cook from them when she was a child. Now she is racing against time to document traditional Cambodian recipes passed down orally from genocide survivors in remote Cambodian villages.
The Cambodian people in remote provinces are the source of original Khmer arts and traditions, but they do not have the habit of writing them down.
The few written records of Cambodian culinary traditions were almost completely erased in the mid-1970s by the Khmer Rouge regime. During its 4-year rule, 1.7 million people were killed, and Cambodian cuisine was reduced to a daily diet of watery rice porridge. A daughter of Khmer Rouge survivors, Ruth says her mission is to make sure the world and her sons know about Khmer food.
We know that Cambodians don't have the habit of documenting our traditions. I have now documented about 200 Khmer dishes, and I selected 80 of them for my first cookbook.
The 200-page cookbook, entitled Nyam, or Eat, consists of recipes for the country's signature dishes like cocoa soup, banana rice cake, fried fish bread, and stone crab stir-fry with pineapple. Yet Ruh says Nyam is more than just a book of recipes.
A major feature of this book is that I describe all the health benefits for all individual dishes and ingredients.
While developing precise cooking measurements and nutritional information for her cookbook, Ruh also runs a home restaurant, offers food consultancy, and hosts cooking shows. I'm Chatra Chap for VOA News, Washington.
All right, quite an interesting piece. Now, time for us to take a look at the world of sports. Now, former Valencia Marathon champion SAMMY KIPROP Kitwara has been banned for 16 months after failing in an in-competition doping control held in Seoul, South Korea in March 17th. Kitwara tested positive for terbutaline, a prohibited substance unless an athlete has a therapeutic use exemption permitting its use. Now, the Athletics Integrity Unit, the body established by World Athletics Governing Body, IAAF, as part of its doping reform, said Kitwara had accepted and won't appeal the ban. That also means disqualification of the athlete's results on and since March 17. Kitwara was part of the team paced for Eliud Kipchoge when he set the world marathon record in Berlin last year. All right, this is where we wrap up Ebru Primetime News. My name is Diana Rachel Mbugua. Our sign language interpreter for tonight is Joyce Werimo. Do have yourselves a lovely night. God bless you.